March 2023, housing numbers are in, and these three Palm Beach County cities took it on the chin. Pow! Right in the kisser. Double-digit declines in terms of median and average sales price. And I'm committed to telling you the truth. Good, bad, right or wrong, up or down, or sideways. I'm committed to telling you the truth so you know exactly what's happening in each and every Florida housing market. Because the truth will set you free, and the numbers don't lie. And accurate, actionable information will empower you to make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. If you're new to the channel, welcome aboard. My name is Chris Igoe. If you're a returning viewer, I appreciate your participation in our journey. And to be totally upfront, there are also cities that exist within Palm Beach County that are experiencing double-digit gains. And there are also cities that exist within Palm Beach County have a massive disparity between average and median sales price. And I'm committed to sharing all of that information too. But in order to make this a short video and not be here all day, I'm going to highlight the three cities that got the biggest whammy. And not to fear if you're outside of my local housing market, I will cover each and every Florida metro so that you've got the best information in order to advocate and negotiate for yourself the right way. So please stay tuned and please subscribe because I will cover each and every Florida housing market as soon as I possibly can. But before I get too far into the individual cities that took a beatdown in the market, I want you to understand that Palm Beach County is a massive market, and the numbers that I share are macro numbers. And it's critical to understand that each hyperlocal market located in each of these cities is very likely to trade completely differently than the numbers that we're talking about today. But the numbers that I'm going to share are irrefutable. They cannot be ignored. They cannot be debated. They are no bueno if you happen to be thinking about selling in these cities. And it's great news if you're thinking about buying. But I think it's critical that you understand the markets that I'm referencing and the macro numbers that I'm going to share when we analyze Palm Beach County, because Palm Beach County is massive. It's comprised of Tequesta, Jupiter, Juneau, North Palm Beach, Lake Park, Palm Beach Shores, Riviera Beach, Palm Beach Gardens, West Palm Beach, Loxahatchee, Wellington, Pahokee, Belle Glade, South Bay, Boca, Delray, Boynton, Manalapan, Hypoluxo, Lantana, South Bay, Singer Island. I'm sure I missed a few, but I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I know everybody can read. You can see on this map, it encompasses many different cities. And if I was to extend this map out further and showcase the entire state of Florida, you would be completely overwhelmed by how big the state of Florida is and how many markets exist within the Florida market, each one trading completely independently of the other and with its own different intensity of supply and demand. And to be clear, I'm going to showcase what those markets are over time. But for today, we're focusing on the three cities that experienced double-digit declines in the month of March for both median and average sales price. And I think it's also helpful to understand, because I've had comments before where people have mentioned there's no such thing as North Palm Beach County or South Palm Beach County. Well, that's not true. There absolutely is a delineation. And you can see on this map that North Palm Beach County and South Palm Beach County are different. And I will eventually cover every city that exists within each one of these breakdowns. But for today, on the macro level, I'm going to start with my hyperlocal market, South Palm Beach County. And to be abundantly clear, we're talking about single family homes. I'm not including townhomes. I'm not including condos. I'm only interested in the single family homes that exist within the South Palm Beach County market. And you can see that closed sales are down 13%, which is consistent with what we've seen for a long time. Median sales price is on the uptick, 5.2%, from $575,000 to $605,000. Average sales price upticked by 1%, single-digit growth, which is what I've been calling for in most markets throughout the rest of the year. But the average sales price jumped from $939 and change to $948 and change, which is the absolute opposite of what I'm going to talk about in the three cities that I'm about to highlight. But I think it's important to understand the macro picture too, or we don't really have context. Dollar volume closed fell off a cliff, down 12%, which is a function of closed sales being down 13%. Percent of original list price received down 7.6%. Buy 100%, and hello 92.4%. That's what you can expect to see unless you price your home the right way and create a market within a market with the right product, which will definitively find the one buyer on planet Earth willing to pay more than anybody else. And if that's something we can help with, please reach out directly because that is what we specialize in. Which takes us to median time to contract, which is up 285.7%. Woo, that's a big exponential jump. Except if we look at the actual time, which is a jump from 7 days to 27, you'll realize that this is a return to normal and that last year at this exact same time, we were in a very abnormal market. Pending sales are down 7.4% and new listings are down 14.5% to 869, down from a touch over 1,000. New listings, or the shortage thereof, is likely to insulate prices in most markets, depending on demand. And South Palm Beach County tends to be in very high demand, which is why I have made the argument in the past that there are certain markets which are more insulated in terms of price than others. But make no mistake, the rising tide in the pain of recession certainly brings down all boats, or in this case, houses, or specifically house prices. But as of March 2023, that has not been the case in South Palm Beach County. And again, this is March data. We're in April. The numbers have definitively changed. And I will continue to keep you updated in real time as fast as I possibly can. But new listings hitting the market are down, and inventory of homes for sale is up 52%. And I rounded up, it's actually 51.6. But last year there were 1,135. But as of March, there were 1,721 homes sitting on the market unsold in South Palm Beach County, which translates into an uptick in months supply from 1.5 months to 3 months. We are trending to a neutral market very quickly, and that will trend into a buyer's market even faster if homes continue to sit on the market unsold for a longer period of time and more people choose to sell their home and tap into the equity that they have right now. And to be clear, the three cities that I'm about to cover lost a metric shit ton of equity relative to the recent past. And I suspect it's no bueno if you own a home in each one of these three cities. Which takes us to median sales price in South Palm Beach County in terms of single family homes. And what you can see is that in March, there was an uptick of 5.2%. If you look over the past 12 months, you'll also see that with the exception of December of 2022, which thus far is an outlier and a decrease of 1.2%, all of the 11 previous months have been, in most cases, significant double-digit gains. 35%, 27.6, 25, 20, 15, 23, 15.7, 10.6, then the drop of 1.2, with a very quick rally back of uptick of 12.5%, 0.3%, and then finally March, which was 5.2%. The 12-month average for appreciation in terms of median sales price is 15.2%, up until it's not. But if you look at the graph on the bottom of the page and you look at the historical median sales price by month, you can't help but notice that although median home sales prices have dropped from the high of damn near 700,000, they are significantly higher than where we were pre-pandemic. And if you look at 2019, what you'll see is that the median sales price for a single family home in South Palm Beach County was much closer to $350,000. And if we go back further in history to the lowest price that is on this chart, which happens to be January of 2012, what you'll see is that the median sales price has radically increased from under $200K. And you may be asking yourself, if the great financial crisis happened in 2007 and 2008, how come it took so long for home prices to really drop that low? And if you've been watching for a while, you already know the answer. I talk about it all the time. The housing market is a lagging indicator. It is the last metric to move. And although the pain of the great financial crisis happened in 2007, 2008, the housing market didn't fully price it in up until 2011 and 2012. That's how long it took. So when I share the housing market data in the future and I talk about distressed sales and how there are no distressed sales in the Florida housing market as of yet, it's because distressed sales take time. And it's also because, as you can see on this historical chart, that home prices have astronomically skyrocketed. And so homeowners are sitting on a metric shit ton of equity, and they're far more likely to sell if they have to. And to be clear, median sales price does not tell us the full story. We must also know what the average sales price is. And what you can see is that single family homes in South Palm Beach County upticked by 1% to 948. And the 12-month average shows a net gain of 7.7%. But if you look back over the last 12 months, you can't help but notice the volatility in pricing. And although there have been some massive whoppers of appreciation, there have also been significant declines that have happened. And I'll highlight them both, but you can see them on the chart. April of 2022 was a 22.5% gain. May was a loss of 3.3%. June was an uptick of almost 14%, followed by 20%, followed by 15.6%, 7.7, 12.2, and then in November we got whacked and smacked down by 7.1%. Followed by December, where we really took it on the chin, pow, right in the kisser, down 22.5%. But then what happened? January, up 47.8%. Massive appreciation, which completely undid what just happened, followed by 8% appreciation. And then in March, we saw 1%, which is a long way of getting to volatility exists within the market. And as fear and uncertainty uptick, you can expect to see a lot more volatility in terms of pricing. But I think it's critical to understand the historical perspective, because although we are no longer at the all-time highs as it relates to average sales price, we are still significantly higher than where we were pre-pandemic. And I'll use one of the high water marks in 2019 to give us some historical perspective. Although if we look a little bit closer, you can see that the number is significantly lower than the one I'm about to share. But the average sales price in 2019 was somewhere between $600,000 and $550,000 for a single family home, which is a far cry from where we're at today at $955,000. And if we go back even further to the lowest point on this chart, which is somewhere around 2011 or 2012, you can clearly see that the average sales price was right around $300,000. $300K at the bottom of the market, which, to be clear, is not when the great financial crisis happened. It was many years after, which proves my point that real estate and home values are a lagging indicator, and pricing is the last domino to fall in economic change, during a recession, during a crash, during a crisis. And if other markets, financial markets, go to hell in a handbasket, it will still take time for the home prices to catch up, for homeowners to actualize and realize that pain, which is one of the reasons that I talk about what's happening right now, so you don't have to experience it. And if you are experiencing financial difficulty and think you might be at risk, it is critical to be in front of the market when the bad news actually hits, because by the time these numbers are reported a month late, it's way too late to get involved. And the homeowners in the cities that I'm about to showcase, and you can bet your sweet bippy that the homeowners in the cities I'm about to showcase wish they would have sold yesterday, if that was the right thing for them to do. And everybody's needs and wants and circumstances are totally different and totally variable. So one size does not fit all, which takes us to new listings. And new listings are critical to understand in every market. And what you can see is that new listings are in short supply within the South Palm Beach County markets. The 12-month average is down almost 3%. March was down 14.5%. But you can also see by looking back over the last 12 months, there is tremendous uncertainty in terms of homeowners wanting or being willing to sell their home because nobody wants to trade up into a significantly higher monthly mortgage interest payment. And although there are ways to negotiate a better mortgage interest rate if you have the right seller and the market will allow for it, not everybody knows how to do that, and a lot of homeowners don't even know it's an option. But new listings are, in fact, in short supply, and supply and demand will always dictate price. But you can see April of 2022, a shortage of almost 11% of new listings, followed by June with an uptick of 20%, followed by 4 consecutive months of short supply. Then a small uptick in January of 23, followed by double-digit shortages in terms of new listings. And if there are no more new listings and demand continues to uptick because there are 1,400 new people that move to Florida on a daily basis, with many of them wanting to live in South Palm Beach County, those dynamics don't play well if you're thinking about buying a home because home prices will continue to appreciate up until they don't, which takes us to the most ultra exclusive, priciest market that exists within the state of Florida, which of course is Palm Beach. Now, to be clear, because I got some shade in the past from other realtors who watch my channel, and they took umbrage because the truth is the Palm Beach housing market is its own MLS. It is its own entity. And for the most part, there is no data sharing that exists between the Palm Beach MLS and other MLSs. But they do publish some, and that's what I'm going to cover today. But to be clear, this is a distorted snapshot. There are many deals that happen that are completely private, that are unpublished, that nobody really ever knows about until the deed is registered with the county property appraiser. But I think it's helpful to at least have a macro picture of what is published so you can see the volatility that exists in terms of median and average sales price. And to be clear, I'm not confused. I understand that this is a distorted snapshot. But in Palm Beach, with the data that was published, the median sales price got whacked. Double-digit decline, 13.6%, from a high of just under 9 million to a low, a touch under 7.8. That is a big drop. And the average sales price tells an even bigger whopper, which is a drop of almost 50%, from an average sales price of $15.5 million to a touch under 7.8. That is a big whopper. And let's face it, most folks who are watching this channel are not necessarily looking for a $20 million home to buy or sell, but I feel like I would be irresponsible if I did not share the double-digit losses that have been published so far, because the changes are enormous. And time to contract upticked by 202% to 281 days from 93. And to be clear, this is a return to normal. And it should be noted that it takes a heck of a lot longer to sell a home at this price point because the buyer pool is much smaller. But pending sales were down 22.2%, new listings were down 50%, inventory of homes for sale upticked almost 29%, and the month supply of inventory jumped from 6.6 months to 15 months, which takes us to North Palm Beach, and the same terms apply. Closed sales up 7%. Median and average sales price took a beating. Median sales price dropped to $825,000 from a high a touch over $1 million. And the average sales price got shellacked from almost 2.3 down to a touch under 1.8, down 40.5%. Major beating if you're thinking about selling in the North Palm Beach market. And total dollar volume for single family homes in North Palm Beach caught a beatdown worse than Rodney King, down 36.3%. but that's a function of the median sales price and the average sales price taking a beating even worse. But percent of original list price received is on the downtick, down almost 5%. Bye bye 98.1% and hello 93.3. Median time to contract is on the uptick, up 58.1% to 49 days, which is a return to normal. Pending sales on the downtick, down 21.4%. New listings down 13.3%. Inventory of homes for sale up almost 71%. 41 homes in March were sitting on the market unsold, which is a big jump from the 24 that were sitting on the market unsold back in 2022. And predictably, month supply of inventory also on the uptick, up 141.2% to 4.1 months, up from 1.7. And we are in a neutral market in North Palm Beach, which is trending to a buyer's market very quickly. Great news if you're shopping in this market, not so great if you're thinking about selling. Which takes us to Belle Glade, and Belle Glade got decimated. Now, to be very clear, the single family home market in Belle Glade is significantly smaller than most of the markets that I cover. But in terms of closed sales, it fell off a cliff, down 80% from 5 sales to 1. And the median and average sales price got decimated. Now, to be clear, there was one sale and it was a super low price point in a very low price point and low income market. So I am fully aware that this paints a distorted picture in terms of what other markets look like, but I can promise you the other markets that I will cover in the near future are also experiencing massive price drops. They just haven't experienced double-digit price drops yet, but I will cover them because there has been a radical change in pricing in the month of March. So please stay tuned, it's coming soon. But Belle Glade was the biggest whammy of any market that I've seen, and it would be irresponsible of me not to share. Median sales price down 72.5%. Average sales price down 74.5%. No bueno if you're thinking about selling in this market. Dollar volume got whacked, but again, there was only one sale, and percent of original list price received was down 39.8%. Again, one closed sale, very distorted market, but still no bueno. Pending sales up 50%, 6 homes were pending. New listings are up 50%, from 2 up to 3. Inventory of homes for sale up 150%, from 4 to 10. And month supply of inventory jumped 253.8%, from 1.3 months to 4.6. The trend is not your friend in Belle Glade. Now, I hope you found this content valuable, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. If you're thinking about buying or selling, please reach out to me directly because we would love to help. And stay tuned for upcoming videos because I fully intend to cover every market that exists within the Florida housing market. So I will cover your market soon, and check out my next video because I suspect you will love it a lot. And until next time, peace.